Like we mentioned in the very first episode, this is a page-by-page build, and we're doing it each step of the time. Each step of the time? Yeah. Each step at a time. And it's been many, many years, 6 years since I've done my last video, so we are a little bit rusty. Okay, so it is time for step number 2. All the tools, everything that you see us use here today will be listed in the section below. So don't forget to subscribe if you like our videos, and don't subscribe if you don't. Okay, so we are now going to be doing bag number 2. Bag 2. Go ahead and open it up. Put everything into our little parts tray here. Make sure your bag is empty. Again, I've dug through many a trash can looking for pieces and parts. We have our plastic parts here. We're going to set them aside and open up our nuts and bolts bag and put them in our little parts tray. Okay. Excuse me. Take a little bit of our beverage here. And here we go. All right. So step 2, it looks like we are building our steering blocks. And we're going to take a look here and the rest of our directions. So we are building 2 steering blocks. Yes, build 2, one left and one right. Then also here you can see ×2. So we know we're doing each of these steps twice. Okay, so we need to start off with a steering block, which looks like this. And it's really hard to see, but this little piece here goes off this way in the directions. Okay. And we can see that there are 2 of these, and we have to decide which one is left and which one is right. Does it say on there? Yes. If you look inside here, come on, focus in. Come on. There we go. You'll see right inside here, well, it's not showing up with the light, but there's a little R on here and a little L on this one for left and right. So we are going to start off with the left one, which is shown in the manual. And then the second one is going to be the right one. And it looks like, actually, we have to make sure we get this done right the first time. So what I'm looking at here is the ball stud needs to fit on here. So that is the up portion like this. So we are actually going to build, yes, we are going to build the left one first. So we'll get our ball stud. And if you look at the steering block itself, this part here is flat, which I'm going to call the top. And this part here is recessed. And you'll see that there is an area for a little nut. So we're going to take the little black nut and put it in here with the flat side of the nut going to the inside. So the little dome part goes towards the outside. And we're going to place our ball stud on there. Tighten it up. That one goes here. We're going to go ahead and repeat that step on the other side as long as we are working on that. We'll put our little nut down inside. Hold it in with our finger. We'll start the ball stud. Maybe. Oops. There are two different sized ball studs in here. Aha! So we need to make sure that we are using the 6mm ball studs, which are the shorter ones, and the longer ones we're going to save for another step. So we did that right on the first one by mistake. Otherwise, we'd be taking it apart. Okay, so we have these two done, just like so. And now we are going to put our bearings in. You can see we have two bearings here. Come on. I really need to work on the focus for this thing. There we go. Now we're going to put our bearings in. And these are, what size bearings are these? These are 5 by 10 by 4s. And I believe that that is these here. So we're going to take 4 of these out. There's 9 of them in there. And again, we're using the FastEddy Bearings ceramic kit for the DR10. Okay, so let's start on this side. We'll go ahead and just, oh, those go in real nice and easy. We'll do that on both sides. And it looks like the next thing we need to do is to get the front axles, which are these little puppies here. And we need 2 of the M3 by 5 button heads. So a by M3 by 5 is going to be the smaller, or should say the smallest screws that are in our little parts tray there. And we need some thread lock. Now, this could be a problem because, hold on here, I know I'm digging through a box and there are no chemicals in here whatsoever. And because of that, I have some thread lock from another model that I've built. So before you get started on this, make sure you have thread lock. And as I'm thinking about it now, we are going to have to make sure that we have shock fluid. And we are also going to have to make sure that we have diff fluid. So I wish I'd have known that, because if you knew where I lived, it is almost 50 miles round trip to my nearest hobby shop. Okay, so we're going to look at this. This is going this way, so we are going to put the threaded portion towards this side here. And we are going to put thread lock on the little screw like we did and go ahead and screw this in. Then we're going to double check to make sure that we actually did this right and didn't go backwards. So as we're looking at this, this is the way this goes. And we will take the second one, put the ball stud up, and put this with the threads towards the outside. And get some thread lock. And put it on this little puppy, tighten it down. You're going to want to make sure that you torque it down pretty good. Just like so. And again, make sure that everything is spinning properly and there's not a huge amount of play anywhere. Okay, so it looks to me like we have those done properly. We'll see. I've been known to make things backwards before. Okay, now we are going to use the caster blocks. And again, there is a left and a right caster block. And we're just going to position that just like we see it here and assume that this one goes in the other direction. Just like so. Now, we need caster lock bushings. Okay, caster block bushings, and those are these little top hat looking units. We'll go ahead and take 2 of those out. And we are going to also need 2 of the M3 by 12 button heads. So let's dig out 2 of the M3 by 12 button heads. There's actually 4 of them in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're the only screws that are left in our package, so we don't have to guess. Now comes the fun part. We are going to place the little top hats from the inside up. You're going to hold this sideways because if you try to hold it up and down, they're going to fall out, which is always fun. So we've got this one made with those in there. Now we have to decide which one of these that we're going to use. So looking at this, I believe it's going to be this one. If we build it backwards, we'll have to take it apart. So we're going to push these in. And it's looking like that is how it goes. Okay, so we need to line these up. And screw them in. We'll put in one first. I'm not going to tighten that all the way down yet. Then we're going to put our second one in. For some reason, this feels like it's binding up and it's not going to turn freely. So we're going to have to figure out what's going on there. What I really like about these tools is they have a swivel on the end here. So you can put your hand on there and it makes it very comfortable to use. And again, these are the Vanquish tools. So I'm going to snug these down. Let's see if we have any binding going on here. You know what? It's not that bad. Let me go ahead and tighten this one up a little bit more. Okay, no, there is no binding going on. It felt like there was to begin with, but I think it's just because it was not perpendicular with the screws in and tightened down. So we have one built. Let's go ahead and build the other. Put the little top hats in. And we want to make sure that we are doing this properly. And it needs to be the opposite of this one. So this is going to go in like this. Okay, I think just double check before we start putting screws in. And it looks like we should be okay. I either built them backwards or I didn't. we will find out sooner than later when we go to put them together if we did it right or not. Kind of a pain to get these things lined up properly. And if you'll notice, I'm not using the electric screwdriver on this, and the reason being is that those little spacers that we put in there, they call them caster lock bushings, they actually stick up above the edge here. So when the screw goes in, it doesn't, it actually captures that bushing rather than going onto the caster block itself, which allows you free movement. So your screw is actually not touching the caster block itself, but is captured by that bushing. And if you use an electric screwdriver, you can crush that and it will mushroom inside of the caster block and not allow free movement. So there we go. Look at that. We seem to be doing okay. Now we have one more step, and that is to put in, oh, you know what? Did I do these backwards? Because we have this sitting this way. Okay, we did it okay. Did we not? Yes. What I'm looking at here is there's a recess. Again, with the focus, there's a recess here where the ball stud goes in. And on the other side, on the back, there isn't. If we built them backwards, then we would be putting the ball stud in the wrong space. So we're doing okay here, I think. We'll find out. Let's go ahead and place the ball stud in. Again, there's a recess there, and the ball stud fits inside of that recess. Ow! I burnt my finger from the friction. I had my finger on the back there and it burnt it from the ball stud heating up. Wow. Workman's comp. Normally I would have music playing in the background, except for I learned 6 years ago, after doing my last video, that they start removing videos because of copyright infringement for music. So I will find a copyright-free station at some point to use here. So we have finished bag 2, step 1. Yay. Now we will get to bag 3, step 1. Are we having fun yet? Yay. We have managed now to build our caster blocks and our steering. So if you like the videos, please subscribe, thumbs up, share with your friends, and we will be back with another episode for bag number 3, step number 1.